always feel like I got fluff on my lip. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. That was a loud clap. I'm sorry if you're listening to me in your AirPods. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited to be filming a brand new video because I got a brand new camera. So today we are going to do a beginner friendly tutorial. I got so many requests to do it when I asked you guys what you want to see. So we're going to do a beginner friendly. When I say beginner friendly, I mean we're going to try and limit the amount of crazy steps, you know, that may be crazy to some people, or extensive steps that I would usually do in my makeup routine. Keep it simple, and hopefully you guys can have a play at home. If you're interested in seeing this tutorial, keep on watching. And I would be interested if I were you because I got a new camera. So the first thing that I'm going to do is hydrate this very dry skin VR Face and Body Serum. So this is the vitamin C one. They actually come in a pack of 3. Now the reason I'm taking the vitamin C serum is because it just helps promote collagen. And I'm 27 now, you know what I mean? You know that collagen's gonna start slowing down any minute now. So I'm gonna take the vitamin C to just brighten up the skin and build that really nice, beautiful barrier. This smells so nice. Oh, that just feels so nice and smooth on my skin. Ooh. My skin's feeling good. Now I'm just going to apply my Murad eye cream. Now this one, I don't mean to be harsh on it because I've been going through a lot of stress with all this coronavirus, but it told me that after 4 weeks, I wasn't going to see my, you know, dark eyes anymore. It was going to reduce the appearance of tired, puffy eyes. And I'm about 3 weeks in and these puffy eyes are still here. Okay, so I've got a really nice hydrated face. I've got a nice eye cream on. So the first thing that I would ever recommend before you do any makeup is to apply a really nice barrier of moisture just to make your skin feel a little bit more hydrated. For the foundation just to glide on a little bit more effortlessly and soak nicely into your skin. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is take my 255 by Fenty Beauty. This one is probably one of my favorite concealers at the moment, if I'm going to be honest. I just really like the coverage. I really like the finish. Fenty Beauty is probably one of my favorite brands at the moment. And I'm just going to apply that over my eyelids because we want a really nice full coverage. So we're going to start off with our eyes today and we're going to blend it in with a nice fluffy brush. Now I'm sure lots of you will have a concealer brush at home, but if you don't, you could definitely use a beauty sponge to apply this. Sorry guys, my camera decided to stop recording halfway through that video. So I realized after, took all my makeup off and we're starting again. So I'm trying to go back to exactly where I left off, which I believe we were putting concealer over our eyes. So I am just applying that concealer because it gives a really nice smooth base ready for your shadows to stick to and last all day, but it also is going to connect the rest of your makeup together and hide any little bit of like those red marks you may have over the eyes or some little veins or anything like that. So the first thing that I'm going to do today is actually take my Fenty Beauty bronzer. There's nothing more I love than a fresh bronzer. This is the Caramel Cutie by Fenty Beauty, and I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush. So I'm just going to take a 10R from Napoleon, but there are so many brushes like this. I literally used to use this when I used to work there. So we're literally going to start off by creating a socket line. Now the reason I like to create a socket line is just to keep everything really nicely blended and to know where to start and stop your eyeshadow so that you don't look like you've been punched. So you can go as smoky as you want with this and it'll always still look like it's nicely blended as long as you do it with a nice fluffy brush. So the reason I'm taking my bronzer is because I know so many of you will have a favorite bronzer at home and I want to show you guys how you can utilize the product. You can utilize the product because it goes fine over the eyes. There's really no right or wrong with makeup. It's whatever works for you. So we're building up a really nice transition shade that's going to blend really softly into my shadows. And when I get up to this area here, I like to just kind of blend it upwards, like almost into my brow. It's a really nice contour through there. Okay, so we've used a bronzer. So anyone can go home and use a bronzer that they've already got, just as long as it's a really nice kind of sandy, warm shade like we've got here. Next, I'm going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to use the same bronzer and I'm going to pat it over the outsides of my eye and I'm going to take it halfway through. So we're going to pop it here. This is going to create a really nice transition from a really glittery pigment I'm going to use today. And it's going to make it look a little bit more natural as it goes into the darker colors. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is dip into my Pretty Vulgar palette. So this is probably one of my favorite palettes. I kind of keep it in my my Sydney travel kit that I just always take with me to Sydney. And I love it. I just feel like the colors are really like, they really bring out the colors of my eyes and I just love the tones through them. Now I'm going to pick up Blowing Smoke, which is a little bit more of like a burgundy shade. And I'm going to take it on a bullet brush from Fenty Beauty, which is a little bit more defined, this one here. And I'm just going to pat and press it on the outsides of my eye. This is going to create a really nice C shape. And the reason I like to create a C shape is to show a contour of the eye. I'm going to go back over with my little blending brush that I used before, and I'm just going to diffuse that harsh line into my socket line. So think of our socket line like our base. Now the next thing we're going to do is go back into that flat shader brush, and we're going to pick up this shade right here, and we're going to pat and press that onto my eye, and this is going to create a really nice defined mobile lid. So the mobile lid is this area here. Now I want to make that a little bit more defined, so I'm just going to go in with something slightly smaller, which is a flat shader brush from Zoeva as well. The next thing that I'm going to do is pick up a Resurrected Sin, which is this one right here, taking that on my flat shader brush, and then I'm going to press that. I'm going to press that all over the center of my eye. Remember, we're building up for the super glittery pigments I'm about to use. So I was going through my PR this morning, and I was really excited when I opened this up because I was like, oh, we can do something really fun with this. And I feel like it's, I feel like we're gonna get a really nice pigmented shimmery glam eye with this today. So we are going to go in with this shade right here. Now these ones don't have any names, so I'm just going to point them out. This is a really kind of sparkly pinky shade, and then in the very inner corner we're going to go in with this one here. Now the best thing to do when you apply any kind of glittery shadows is to actually take a flat liner brush. I like to use concealer brushes for this, and I just take a little bit of mist and I spray them really wet down the brush, and then I pick up the product. Oh, whoops. We're going with this one first. I pick up the product almost as if it's like a paint, and then we are going to outline the eye again. Oh, yes. This is going to give us like a beautiful sparkle to the eye. And it's really cool for someone that's like wants to be really extra. And while we're all in lockdown, we're all going to be extra. Now you want to be really careful with glitter because you don't want to make a mess over your eyes. So I kind of just keep it in the inner front of the eye. And then I'm going to dip back into my Phoenix Rising palette. And I'm going to pick up this Resurrected Sin on my flat shader brush from before, and I'm just going to press here. This is just going to create a really nice transition between the pinky glitter and the smokiness on the outside. Ooh. Yeah, baby. Now for liner today, I'm actually not going to create a wing liner for you. I'm just going to do a liner around the lashes. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this is beginner friendly and not everyone feels comfortable with an eyeliner. So I'm just going to take my roller liner by Benefit. I'm just going to gently run it over my lash bed. So now we're just going to apply a little more mascara. I'm going to use my Better Than Sex. For lashes today, I'm going to take the VR Face and Body Sunrise lashes. These ones are super big, but I love that because I can teach you guys how to apply big lashes without freaking out. And for glue, I'm just going to take the VR Face and Body glue. Now it's really important to always trim your lashes before you wear them. So just looking at these ones, I feel like I definitely want to take off, ooh, these are big babies. I'm going to take off 2 from the outside. So I just cut them and then I try to throw them out, otherwise they end up in my hair and I get somewhere and someone's like, you've got something in your hair, love. So what I like to do is paint this area of the eyelashes. And what I like about this glue is that it actually is really dry and tacky. So you don't need to wait too long before applying it. You can pretty much go in straight away. What I like to do is bend my head back a little and I pinch the lashes together with my lashes to make them look a little more, ooh, I feel like I'm gonna fly away. And now I'm just gonna take a wipe and clean up underneath the eye. Okay, so now that those lashes are on, I'm just going to let them dry a little more before I put any more mascara. I'm going to go ahead and do my base. So today I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Profilter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. These are probably one of my favorite foundations on the market at the moment. They're just so glowy, medium coverage, good colors. Now I've got a spray tan at the moment, so I'm going to work with mixing both of them together, which is 320 and 290. The reason I'm mixing both of them together is because I have a slight mix of a warm base, then a little bit more greener. I'm all kinds of colors at the moment. Now when I do my forehead, I only ever really do what's left on my brush. I never really go in with like more product because I don't want it to be cakey over my forehead. But everywhere else, baby, I packed that shit on. So I'm just going to go in with my VR Face and Body Beauty Sponge. This is so soft and feels so beautiful on the skin. So I'm just going to bounce that into my skin. Now the reason why I like to do that is because it gives it like a really nice finish. You don't have any brush strokes or anything that like looks too cakey. It doesn't absorb too much product, which is what I like about this. And the reason why it doesn't is because it's so soft. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go in with my concealer. I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 255, and I'm just going to run that in the inner corner of my eye and then a little over here. Just going to use a little of 290 and put that in the very center. I'm going to go back in with my VR Beauty Sponge and just press and pat that into my skin. I love this sponge so much, it's so soft. Now once I've done that, I just like to press and pat all around the face and make sure all my foundation and concealer are properly blended into one another. Now the next thing I'm going to do is set that under eye. So I'm going to take my Huda Beauty Cupcake translucent powder. I love this translucent powder so much. So I'm just going to go in with my VR Beauty Sponge and I'm going to press that into my under eyes. We're going to get a really nice airbrush finish underneath. Now it's time to define my face. I'm just going to take my Caramel Cutie Fenty Beauty bronzer. I'm going to take it on this 22B from Napoleon Purtis. It's like a really old brush, but I like to use it to contour sometimes. So if I'm explaining contouring, we want to go from the tragus to the lip line, but we want to stop halfway through the eye. If you go any lower, all those facials, removing that peach fuzz, is going to go down the drain because you're going to look like you got a beard. Now I'm going to go in with Private Island. The reason why I'm going to do that is because it's slightly more of cool tone. I don't want anything too warm tone as my nose contour. So I'm just taking a flat line brush and I'm just taking that contour down the side of my nose, kind of at the edges of my brows, and I'm just kind of almost joining in that little bit of shadow I've got here. We're just going to slim out the nose a little more. And once we're done with that, I'm just going to take a soft powder brush. You can use any one that you've got at home, and we're just going to like take off that excess powder and get rid of any of those harsh lines. So now we've got like a really nice airbrushed under eye, and I'll show you guys a little trick that I like to do. Now I've got my Too Faced translucent powder in the shade Sand, which is a little bit more of like a yellow tone. I'm going to take my VR Face and Body Beauty Sponge and I'm going to cut those cheeks to just make them look a little bit more defined. Now I don't like to go in with too light of a powder to do this anymore, because I feel like in photos it just comes up too harsh. And then once I've done that, I actually get a really soft brush and I just kind of like diffuse it a little. So for my blush, I'm going to go in with my Honeysuckle from KVD Beauty, and I'm just going to take a fluffy blush brush. Now for highlight today, I'm going to go in with the VR Glow Up Highlighting Palette. So there's 4 pretty shades in here. I think I want to take the more yellow toned and mix it in with a little bit more of that browny kind of golden shade, just because I am so tan today. So I'm just going to take it on a fan brush, dip into the product. Ooh, that is glowy. And I'm just going to mix those 2 colors and take them on the bridge of my nose. Okay, now it's time to define that under eye. So we're going to go back in with our bronzer, which is Caramel Cutie from Fenty Beauty. And we're actually going to take a flat shader brush we used earlier on. And then we're going to take the Fenty Beauty pencil brush, go back in and pick up Blowing Smoke for the last time. I'm going to apply that just next to the bottom lashes. I'm going to apply some mascara to the bottom lashes. Now the very last step before I do my lips, I'm actually going to take my last VR Face and Beauty product for the tutorial, powder in the shade Diamond, which is like a really kind of pearly pigment. And I'm just going to pick up some of that product and I'm just going to add it underneath my brow bone. This is just going to give me like a really strong highlight underneath my brow bone. I'm going to add it in the inner corners of my eye and a little on the Cupid's bow. For my lips today, I'm going to go in with Spice by MAC, which is one of my favorites, and just overdraw slightly and going back to the natural point on each side. So I always say overdraw within reason, but make sure you go back to the natural points on either side of the lip. So if we look at here, I've overdrawn in the center, but then I've gone back up to the natural point. And then for lipstick, I'm going to go in with my KVD Beauty in Blossom, which is such a beautiful kind of, almost got a slight gray undertone. Nude. I actually quite like a grey undertone nude. And then I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Glass Slipper. And I'm just going to pop that in the center as well. To set that all together, I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty What It Do Makeup Refreshing Spray. And we are all done. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this super pinky, glittery, glam look, and I hope that you guys feel comfortable doing it at home. Let me know what you guys want to see in the videos coming up. I'll be filming every single day, so I'm super excited to see what you guys exactly want to see from me in this time that we're all kind of staying home and being very safe. I hope that you guys are at home, healthy and safe with your family. Sending you guys all my love, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah! Have a good day.